Do you like clear beer, guys? Cold crashing your fermenter after fermentation is complete is one of the best ways to get some nice crystal clear beer nice and easily. Big Rob here to Make Beer Easy. I help people make beer what? Easily. And it still tastes incredibly good. This here, guys, is the Cooper's Kit Innkeeper Sparkling Pale Ale. Apparently it's an Australian style beer. Lots of twists involved with this one. I'll put the links under this video to Brew Day, and then I think I have a couple other videos where I maybe did some dry hopping with it. So what I did originally, just if you haven't watched the other videos, so I'll bring you up to speed. Anytime I make a beer kit, or I teach people how to make a beer kit, I teach them how to make it. Let me close this so we get better lighting. I teach them how to upgrade the kit, because the good old can of goo, they're much better than they used to be. Speaking of light, I didn't turn my lights on. They're much better than they used to be, but they're still not up to par with all grain, and they never actually will be, but you can get pretty dang close if you do what I do, which is number one, you get rid of the yeast that comes with it. Not as good as the other commercial yeast you can buy. So you toss that, you get yourself a good yeast. Number two, you dry hop the shite out of it. So this one was dry hopped with East Kent Goldings twice. I did the first one after active fermentation, probably about active fermentation, where you see all the bubbling come to an end. It's still fermenting, but not as vigorously. So that happened about probably day 4 or 5. I'm bringing it a little closer so you can see the live action here. That probably happened about day 4 or 5, and then probably about 5 days later, I dry hopped it again. It's been in the fermenter for over 3 weeks, which is good. That's tip number 3 for making beer kits better. You gotta have patience. You can't do this like the beer kits will tell you 7 days. That's just because they know you're impatient. They want to make you happy, but in the end, they're not making you happy because it tastes like crap. So the longer you let it set. I did not, when I brewed the video, use the beer enhancer. Cooper's has, I think, 3 beer enhancers. Basically, they are some dry malt extract in there, as well as some extra sugars to bring the alcohol up. The malt extracts to give it more body, more beer type flavor, smoothness, what have you. I didn't do that just because I was trying to keep the video easy. I also used an out-of-date, I made a rookie mistake, which you'll see in some of the videos I link under this, where I used an out-of-date yeast to replace it. I got a stalled fermentation. So this thing might end up tasting like complete crap, because what I ended up doing was adding, I think, 1 cup of dextrose, corn sugar, and then I used 1 cup of just normal table sugar, threw that in there, and then I ended up using the yeast that came with the beer kit, so I threw that in there to get it going again. So this could be the worst tasting beer I've ever made. But the point remains, if you follow what I showed you, which is throw the yeast out, use a good yeast, and then brew it up, you'll be fine. Using just the can of goo by itself, you would have got about probably a 3% ABV, which is no good, which is why if you're using a Cooper's, you want to use your beer enhancers, or just add some dry malt extract to it, or even if you like a drier beer, this one's going to be dry because of the sugar I put in. It becomes dry because the yeast eats all the sugar, so there's no residual sweetness left over when you ferment with just sugar. Okay, so enough of that. Brought you up to speed. What we're going to do is we're going to cold crash this bad boy. I'm sitting on my Danby freezer, converted into a kegerator with the Inkbird up here. So basically what that means is this thing is now a kegerator. It's down to fridge temperature, so it's basically just a fridge, okay? I've got a video on my channel that you can go check out how I converted this thing over. Very simple. It's the easiest kegerator setup you'll ever make. Okay, so when I'm cold crashing, of course, I have to remove my keg and my CO2 from in there because there's no room. So that's the only downside, but is what it is. So what I do is, first of all, do not, rookie mistake, I've done it in the past, do not put, whether you can use this in the fridge. I used to do it I had a garage fridge for beer. You can use a fridge for cold crashing. Of course, it depends on the size of your fermenter. This one would fit into a normal size fridge if I took a bunch of the shelves out and such. Rookie mistake, what I was getting to, when you're cold crashing beer, don't do the rookie mistake of leaving the airlock intact. You want to remove the airlock, because what happens is, once it gets down to the cold temperatures, it will actually suck all the sanitizer down into your beer. If you're using Star San, not a big deal if you end up making a mistake and do it, because don't fear the foam. Maybe that stuff's good for you, good for the yeast at this point. Don't matter for the yeast, but it ain't going to hurt you. But I don't want it in there. So you take it out, and because we don't want a lot of oxygen, you want to be real careful. So what I'm using is just, you can use saran wrap or whatever, cling wrap, and this is just the sandwich bag. I'm going to put it over top of the hole, and I'm going to put this elastic around it, snug it up, and that's good enough. So you want to do it as quick as you can, because if you've been cautious about not getting oxygen in, no sense screwing it up now. Put that bad boy on there, get this elastic on there, cinch her up nice and tight, and she's essentially air locked. So again, every time I do a video for you guys, my son calls, God love him, but I'll touch base with you in a second. We'll get rid of the airlock, and simple as dropping the fermenter into the old Danby freezer. Put her in there, close her up, and 48 hours. I wouldn't do 24, it's not enough. 48 hours is enough though. Depends on what I'm doing this week. If you want to leave it in there for a week, it's not a big deal. It's just going to get clearer. So cold crashing is very similar to the lagering process. If you're making a lager, of course, when you're lagering, you're going to use a different yeast and you're going to ferment at different temperatures. But then, of course, you get into the lagering process itself, which is basically cold crashing, but for a long time. You're going to leave it in there 6 to 8 weeks.